Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We cover map for stream snipers. Yeah, we're continuing with game number 2. Welcome everyone that watches on YouTube. I'm gonna eat a little gummy bear. Tastes old. My favorite. This is so white. Arg. What should I do, man? Fuck, what did I do, man? Oh shit, man. Oops. Hacker YamatoCannon, yes, he's in. Okay, let's try again. Alright, let's try again, guys. Alright, let's begin for real. So the same bands have continued. If you want to hear my discussion on the bands, you can take a look at the previous game. So, at least, there was some degree of adaptation here. Some degree of adaptation. They stuck with the Phelios. Azir Jarvan, Thresh out. Oof. So this is not good for, reasons that I've already stated. Azir Jarvan with no Thresh is very good into Aphelios. Like, Azir is good into Thresh, don't get me wrong, but Azir is a good champion against Aphelios because you have range to deal with and you can kill the turrets as well from afar. Alright, so Azir can trade abilities with Aphelios. Tahm Coco is very bad against Azir, very bad against Jarvan. Ornn gets locked in. Here, people want to know Ornn flex. Is it the thing here? Picking Ornn flex into Azir is terrible, right? So Ornn mid against Azir is just bad. You'll never touch him, you'll never do anything, you'll never accomplish anything. So Ornn flex is not really a thing. Because here, a consideration could be, yo, could we counter Zac somehow and send Ornn into mid? Honestly, it's legit. I think it's legit, you know? Definitely legit Brigid. Nevertheless, once again, same as the draft before, the first 3 picks are just so much better. So much better. Because all of these 3 are so good into the first 2. So good into the first 2. Ornn is good though. Ornn is good. Ornn belongs here. I like Ornn. I like Ornn. But once again, the value of Tahm and Aphelios is just so low. And then we go into second wave. Ezreal Misfortune ban. You know, there are multiple range supports that you can pick into Tahm. And I think, once again, Hide-san playing Tahm just doesn't fit in how Fnatic win games. It's tricky. I feel at least here you need to try to look a bit deeper. You know, maybe instead of Misfortune, you actually ban the Cog. And if they pick Misfortune, you are fine with it, you know, because at least Ornn is good into it. Like, Ezreal is a fine ban. Ezreal is not the issue here. Ezreal is good. It's fine into bottom, and it's good into Ornn. So it's fine. First pick Rakan was the solution? No. First pick Azir was the solution. Why don't we see Taric in pro play? Brother, we see a lot of Taric in pro play. Okay. We are increasing the security clearance of chat. I'm reading some low tier comments. Okay. Corgi out. They want to remove scaling options with jumps. Fine, I don't mind. Gragas ban. They didn't give a shit about Veigar. Why would they care now? You know. Kog'Maw. Now we had the adaptation of Trundle. You want to like Trundle is a champion that has very high win ratio. Very high win ratio. Bad yellow color. Let's try blue. Let's try blue. Is that better? Trundle is better than Lee for sure. Thank you so much for subscribing, Hantala. But Kog'Maw Lulu again, it's just, you know, with the Kassadin lock-in, you're giving up your early game. You're giving up your early game. Trundle is fine into Zac, fine into Jarvan. It's okay into Kog, but how does Trundle really play this early game? How does Trundle accomplish anything in this early game? Azir will have full prio. Kassadin is not a hard counter into Azir. It just isn't. Kassadin scales well and can scale similar to Veigar. Kassadin's purpose in this lane is very similar to Veigar. That if Kassadin is good into the enemy's champions, then it's fine. But like definitely here, I think Kassadin is better than Veigar. You know, Kassadin is better than Veigar because, well, honestly, Kassadin against Kog'Maw Lulu is so fucking trash, so I don't even know if that's true. I think both are pretty bad. Like, Kassadin is better because it's better against Zac and Jarvan. Just playing Kassadin against Kog'Maw Lulu sucks. just playing Kassadin against Kog'Maw Lulu sucks. It just does. And then even when Kassadin is 16, like, he doesn't outscale this game. He doesn't outscale this game, and on top of that, think of items that Ornn is going to build. Well, Kassadin is better into Zac Jarvan because of his mobility, yes. But Veigar is better against Kog'Maw Lulu because you keep distance. But all in all, both picks are pretty trash. I still think here the biggest problem is still Aphelios Ornn, Tahm. And Kassadin, like, there is nothing to work with here. Like, when is Fnatic realistically stronger than G2? Think another key detail is you pick Ornn, and Ornn is a beautiful champion this series because a lot of the games, looking at the drafts, they are going to extend to a certain point in time. Alright? Ornaments level 16. I get it. But what kind of ornaments? You know, the Ornn upgrades are gonna happen so fucking late. So late. Kassadin core items, okay, is Rod of Ages, Archangel Straff, maybe Zhonya's Hourglass sometimes, Lich Bane. When does Kassadin have an item that gets to be upgraded? Level 16, they don't outscale. Level 16, if you compare blue side to red side, I think G2 outscale. Death cap, when do you get death cap on Kassadin? It's very, very late. Like, how often do you see games going past 3 items? Doesn't happen. He can get death cap 3rd. Okay. My problem with this is that I just think G2 still outscale. That's the problem. My problem here is G2 still outscale. One benefit here is Kassadin can actually go on side and do fine into Zac and Azir. That's one benefit. But you also sacrifice your whole early game. You sacrifice your whole early game again. Corgi is banned. Ornn is a good pick. When we talk about the GP, this was GP game. Here they should have picked GP. Like, people are talking about GP, but I think this was the time to pick GP. Like, here you pick GP. Here you pick GP, and then you pick Rakan. Rakan GP was the draft. And Fnatic would have good draft. Really good draft. Yeah, Rakan is actually banned, you're right. Then ban Morgana and go Nautilus. I don't think GP would save the draft here. GP would not save the draft. GP will not save the draft here. And here, picking Ornn is good. And picking Ornn is good. Picking Ornn into Azir Jarvan is good, I think. It's fine. It's not a problem. Go Anivia game 2. Oh man. Yeah. I'm stopping to read the chat again. Okay. I just think still, the problem is Tahm, Aphelios, what purpose do they serve this game? Is Aphelios Tahm still don't serve a purpose? It's really, really hard for me to grasp the purpose of Aphelios Tahm Kench. Azir Jarvan was a very good lock-in and they continue with the same. Why do you think they are so focused on it? I don't know. It's easy to walk away from a game like that and just say, oh, we fucked up the dive. Let's try again. Set is not good against Kog'Maw Lulu. How is it good against Kog'Maw Lulu? Gragas Yasuo is not that great into Azir. Like, it's fine, but it's not great. Like here, Gragas Yasuo against Jarvan Azir is playable for Azir Jarvan. And Aphelios will have a problem this game. What is the ideal bot pair against Kog'Maw Lulu? Draven Thresh. Nautilus Draven. So it just, I think the adaptation from the game 3 when they first picked Azir was good. Enemy went Aphelios and Corki, and I think in that position they could have had winning situation for sure. Like this was good potential. I think here if they go, they change second wave ban, like they change this ban, like they ban Zillion for Braum, but I think Braum is just bad. Like picking Braum for Ornn, I think it's not worth it. Just go Nautilus. Go Nautilus, ban Morg instead of Zillion if you're afraid, and then go GP here. This was GP game. If they had GP Nautilus with Morgana out, I think they had Draft Kingdom. Can't blind pick Blitz, guys. Too bad. They're blind picking support here. Because here, if they have not GP for 5, I think Fnatic Draft Kingdom. This was good first 3 pick. Good, strong first 3 pick. Contestable. I prefer Azir over Corki. They need 80 damage. They need 80 damage. And enemy is Aphelios. Gangplank ult on Aphelios' head. He cannot live, guys. He cannot live. Screw Rakan, guys. Screw Rakan. It's okay. Rakan is not so... So here, Aphelios Tahm out of place. Javan Azir, way better. This rotation into that is just so good. Tahm comes out again, and then Ornn. Ornn is a plus. This is also a plus, because once again, they're just making Tahm Kench and Aphelios more useless. This is just, it makes it so useless. They don't exist. Ornn is good. Ornn is fine. Azir is good against Ornn. And Java is indifferent, but Ornn wins against Zac lane. And you can look to push for some Ornn items. It's just that if it wasn't for Tahm Kench Aphelios, this draft would be good again. It's just that when you have Tahm Kench and Kassadin, Trundle has nothing to play for. He can play through top, but it's too uninteresting, and if Kog'Maw Lulu get to scale, it's lost again. When is the Tahm pick even good then? Well, Tahm is good when you have a carry that is going to do more than the enemy carry if you are immobilized. I mean, if you are mobilized. Yeah, they should have banned Kog, I think, instead of Misfortune. They should have let go. Let go of Misfortune. And then it would be maybe more even draft, but I think Kassadin pick is not good. I think Kassadin is a meme. I think Kassadin is good when your other lanes are like giga strong, you know? But they're not. And here you're looking in Kassadin where you are going to be weaker early, you're going to be weaker later too. It's a pipe dream. Ezreal is a way better ban than Misfortune. What about ban Kog and take Braum in case MF is taken? So they're gonna play Braum jungle? Hi. Anyway, I don't think we need to dwell too much any longer on the draft. We've been talking about it for so long. We should just jump into the game. Ivan is low-key OP, I think. Let's take a look at this game and jungle decisions. This was a bit of a slower one, but yeah. Dracula, Kassadin, Trundle start with Leash, Javan start with Leash, both junglers pattern to bottom this time. Adaptation from Selfmade from last game. Last game he pattern to top. I think Ivan is really strong. Especially people like playing Ivan jungle, like Trundle jungle, Sejuani jungle, like even Gragas jungle, you can play Ivan. I want to see what happened on bottom. What happened on bottom here? How did they get prio? Because here Fnatic are giving up prio. Guardian popped. Mickey is poking. And then G2 are winning. Jankos has played Ivan. That's untrue. I think maybe I even maybe played against Jankos Ivan. Personally. So they won the lane. G2 get to dictate, and in comparison to last game, their jungler is actually backing them up. So they can create some kind of slow push advantage here. And if Kog'Maw Lulu is getting prior level 1, Jesus. Bottom is doomed. Always when you won the prio, slow push as little as possible. Slow push as little as possible. Build as big wave as possible. The more XP you have, the better. The more you deny from the enemy, better. They get saved the moment the wave crashes. You see, Fnatic is taking a lot of harass here. A lot of harassment. A lot of harass. Threaten dive. They're threatening dive. Fnatic at level 2, no more dive. So freeze lane. No. Slow push into enemy. The thing is, when you are slow pushing into enemy, you have a bigger wave. You reach specific XP points faster. So when you are slow pushing, you're supposed to be at a strength advantage. If the enemy is slow pushing towards you and you're freezing and you're stronger, usually your lane is just over, unless your jungler can save you. So here, G2 won level 1. So what do? They want to slow push as little as possible, in contrast to how much Fnatic allowed them to. Make sure that the wave is as big as possible when it crashes, making it more difficult for Fnatic to farm under the turret and giving G2 a bigger window where they are stronger. Because now, they need to use this window in order to get an advantage in terms of HP, which they did. No potion on Aphelios, 1 potion down on Hilibaba. So here on the bounce, this is supposed to be the moment when Fnatic is stronger, because they are walking forward. Taric is not good with Aphelios and it would run into the exact same issue as Tahm Kench. Yeah, this sucks. Hylissang tries to recover the lane. He commits, and Jankos is just too fucking good. Trundle, self-made, did blue into bottom side camp, wave crashed, and then his timer was off. Because this time around, Trundle did the pathing for Tahm and Aphelios to win level 1. So here Trundle, the moment he rushes here, he is playing on the timer. He's playing on the timer that Fnatic had from last game. Meaning Fnatic win and they create a slow push and crash on Cannon. This is what Trundle is matching here. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because G2 won the lane. G2 won the lane here. They won the lane, they get level 2 first. There we go, level 2 after 9 creeps. And Jankos is matching, Trundle is matching, Trundle has nothing to do. So now this timer where Selfmade wanted to be here and create the big crash didn't happen because G2's bot lane won. And I think the expectation was that Hylissang and Aphelios would win level 1. Aphelios level 1 is not a champ though? That's really not true. What are you talking about? Aphelios level 1 is giga OP. He has long range weapon and lifesteal, so he doesn't care if he trades. So yeah, Trundle is in bottom on the timer where they want to crash the big wave. But here, Fnatic is calling, we are not in dive range. So Selfmade is here. And then now Trundle has all camp topside. Because ideally what happens, right, is that the wave bounces now for Aphelios and Tahm, and Trundle can go and recover topside while Tahm and Aphelios are fine. Aphelios have weak level 1, of course, no abilities. Ah, man. How? Level 1 is really, really strong. Level 1 is strong. Level 1 is strong. Level 1 of Aphelios is strong, guys. He has the ideal weapons for level 1. Lifesteal weapon and long range weapon. Ideal weapons. Other champions don't have some crazy level 1, guys. It's like Kalista has crazy level 1. It's just that the key thing that you need to contrast is previous game. Previous game, they outpushed Lulu and Kog'Maw level 1. Limasi, thank you very much for subscribing. The key thing is, what makes Aphelios so OP is that he can actually trade HP level 1 and lifesteal it back. He just has sustain and escape because of the lifesteal weapon. Game 1, it happened. It happened in front of our eyes. Aphelios and Tahm could control the wave. They sacrificed a little bit of HP, and it was key. What does Tahm level 1 do? He has execution. That was when Lulu was chunked early, right? But it doesn't make that big of a difference. She was still full HP. Lulu has execution, but smaller. Like, they can play on Guardian and they can definitely contest. Nevertheless, the key thing is, you know, I'm not going to claim that I've... Yeah, like, Tahm is bad for the draft, of course. Oh, don't start now. Don't start, guys. Start talking about random champs. So here, Trundle pathing became wrong because they assessed bot lane wrong. Trundle pathing, here is the moment Fnatic want to bounce the wave, the cannon, and they want to be the ones playing safe now. Because Trundle wants to path into top. But now Trundle path into bottom on the timer, and here Trundle needs to match. Trundle needs to go bottom. Trundle needs to do the thing Javan's doing. Here Trundle needs to go bottom. Because this is the only moment where Fnatic will be stronger. If Fnatic give up the push here, they lost the lane super hard. Trundle needs to be here if he did this pathing. Imagine now a world, if they know they're gonna lose the Prio level 1, 2, which is okay sometimes, it doesn't make that big of a difference. It's okay, you lose Prio 1, 2. You can recover from it. But then your jungler needs to path in a way where he is bottom on dot timer. Here, it's awkward for Trundle because he has Wolves and Gromp. He needs to be here. He needs to be here. Trundle needs to be here to match. Because Healy is all-inning in a position where it becomes bad to all-in because his jungle is not there and Jarvan can be bottom side. It is terrible. It is a bad decision. It's terrible. It's a game loser, right? Don't get me wrong. But if you look in isolation 2v2, this was one of the moments where maybe they could look for a win. You know? Mickey eats a Q. Mickey eats a Q here, right? Healy gets to auto. And then he's looking for next Q. Doesn't hit it. Flash for flash. And Mickey lost a lot of HP. And then Healy's dead. They don't see. The problem is, I think, Fnatic thought they can win Prio level 1. They didn't. And then it was problematic. And maybe I'm wrong, you know. Maybe I'm like... I'm not gonna claim that I know exactly how Prio level 1 is going to work in this matchup. This is something I would have to try. Like if I had a team right now, I would sit down and try and see who wins level 1, you know? Because I'm not entirely sure. Aphelios is very strong level 1. Tahm can trade HP level 1 and look to sacrifice himself for the wave and then force level 2. Right? This is how you could potentially play it. But I also see a world where Lulu and Kog just win because of lethal tempo. But at least with the way Trundle path, they assume that they win prior bot. Just based on the previous game. Because the previous game, that's what we saw. But I agree, previous game we saw Lulu getting late to the lane. But I imagined Aphelios Tahm winning prior level 1. But now with Kog'Maw Lulu winning prior, Trundle pathing becomes wrong. And Trundle needs to be here. Trundle threatens dive and then they get level 2 and then they say they can't dive. And now Trundle is wrong position and rolling. And yeah, game is very rough. Combot will win prior because we won last game, so it's a poor thought process from a professional team. Why is that poor? We got prior 2v2, level 1, we can do it again. I don't think there's a flaw in that. If Trundle is bot, do they win 3v3 fight? Potentially. Like, look at Mickey HP. Let's say Trundle is walking right here. Like, let's say Trundle is here. Sorry. Let's say Trundle is right here now. I guess he was in the bush when she warded. They win. Guys, when you review games, we don't review thought process. Like if someone says, oh, were they too overconfident? Were they too aggressive? Were they too passive? We don't care. We're looking at the facts. We're looking at the facts. The wave state would not be really bad. Bush warded? Well, Bush warded right now. Bush got warded now. Like Kog'Maw walks and wards right now. Let's say Trundle is here. Like he wards now. The ward is now. If Trundle is here, it's good. It's good bot lane situation for Fnatic. But Trundle is going for camp because his camp is on top side. But if they know they give a prior level 1, Trundle will go full clear top into bot. And then on the bounce they go. But now they have castles in mid lane and bot is boom. So what do you do? It's a very tough situation. Zac has no flash, because he's playing Zac into Ornn, very tough lane. They're trying to recover with a push, but Aphelios base is not even BF. And Kog'Maw stayed. And Kog'Maw gets a cancel. This is very nice of Caps. Caps losing HP though. And Reckless stays because he sees Caps tanking the wave. Reckless has root but no range. Miggy no flash, Trundle is going through lane, Jankos is matching. My Jankos is such a big brain, man. A lot of junglers will not skip wolves like that. Look at his timing of things. Jankos' timing is so good, man. It's unbelievably beautiful. They don't want to fight in the big cannon wave. That's why they back off. And Jankos helps Kog'Maw get the wave into the turret, but at least Aphelios will get what's it called? Like here Reckless should keep his Infernal. He shouldn't hit so much with Infernal. Actually, no, never mind. I'm wrong. He should actually hit with Infernal because the way he thinned out the wave was super nice. Sorry, it's, I say wrong. So this was good from Fnatic. They denied the push in, and good from G2 as well to give up. Good for them. They gave up. Bottom is freeze. Fnatic begins to unfreeze because they assume base. Here he doesn't have Inferno, but the Moonglaive is also good for pushing. So very clean here for Mundo. He's playing this like a Zac one trick. It's like in contrast to the 1v1, like here Conqueror is so goddamn strong. After Zac gets a couple of levels, Conqueror just reigns supreme. Conqueror is very strong, and I was surprised that you wouldn't go Grasp in this lane. I think this is a Grasp choice every time. This is a lane that Zac really needs to play for. Jankos was first here again. Like Jankos just he's the biggest brain. Like Jankos was on time for a dive. Like Jankos is just everywhere, man. How fucking good is Jankos? It's just insane how good he is. It's insane how good Jankos is. It's really, really insane. I think Spellbook is not good against Zac. I think Grasp. So I don't know why Aphelios don't go for BF. I think BF is better, but this is a classic for Reckless, so we're not gonna doubt him. Berserk Greaves allows you to rotate to lane faster after you base. Top matchup is now going to swing in Zac's favor because of Conqueror advantage. And Bwipo, I don't know his cooldown on Spellbook. I assume he already used Ignite. Azir's situation is you know, fine for Nemesis. Like this is a good state of lane for Kassadin. But bottom is just problem. So top is gonna shift, Zac is gonna shift, and they're going for Herald swap. Like in this case, G2's bot lane was already on the lane, so I don't think it's worth it. Is Zac better? Is Zac better than GP here for G2? It's okay. It's okay, both are okay. GP is slightly better because of damage mix, I think, but it's okay. Like, it's not a problem. Damage mix is not a problem. Because here, even if Fnatic gets Herald, top wave is fine for Wunder, meaning he got to push as much as possible, and then they're losing 3 waves bottom minimum. Ornn could potentially TP bottom, because Jankos gets spotted. So that's one way to consolidate, but then you burn your TP. I think GP is better into Kassadin than Zac. Honestly, both are kind of not so great into Kassadin. Not so relevant. Because here the swap happens at a very awkward time. Like look, Fnatic are swapping. They had a little bit of tempo. How does Gangplank counter Kog Lulu? They are immobile. You just R and then you put your R on it, and that's it. Like Kog'Maw Lulu, you ult, you know. AoE abilities, like in the past you would consider Rumble is good too. Anyhow, they are swapping in a moment on Cannon onto Herald where there is no pressure top. I think you're only allowed to do this when you have a situation where your top lane is dominant and is controlling the wave, and you can collapse into top turret right away, and your jungler can solo this. Basically, your jungler solos this, but your jungler is in Zimbabwe. Jankos is running laps around you. Here, to fix this, you could use, because Jankos gets spotted here, so there's no potential of Ornn dive. Ornn could potentially TP on the bottom. But 2 platings are gone and a lot of the wave is gone already. And yeah, like it was just too slow. Too slow. Too slow. I think you had a moment to, like, look how long Jankos was here, right? Like, the TP should have happened some time ago. Like, if you want to go, you needed the TP now. Because look, Jankos gets to cross the desert. He gets spotted in mid, he gets spotted here, Azir is moving now, Azir is miss, and now it's coming. It's too late, I think. You ask if it's worth the 2 TP, but I think Azir don't need to TP. And Zac TP is fine. He's trading for own TP. I just think this was a mistake from G2. Jarvan showing here is a mistake. So this is Jankos' mistake. We talk about how good Jankos is, but here he shouldn't be. Here Jankos should be here. Especially after this. Here. When this move happens, Jankos need to rush here. They're giving up Herald. If Jankos was here, it would be better. Ornn should have TP'd before. He should have not based before he TP'd. But now he TP's when Jarvan is here. It's too far. Azir did not need to be a part of this. Azir could be mid. And then they could kill Ornn. If Azir stayed mid and they only use Zac TP for Ornn TP, it would be a good situation with G2. But Ornn TP'd way too late. TP'd way too late. So Azir could have been here, and Ornn could have TP'd earlier. Like, Jarvan should have just been here. This was a mistake from Jarvan. And then we have the Herald. Stream is only lagging for you, Lasse. So they're still here. A lot of CS lost. It is worth to give up Herald for the purpose of, like, here, this was not a proper Herald swap from Fnatic. So if we go through the motions of this play, what are the mistakes? Fnatic are swapping to Herald in a situation where G2 is on the lane already. The time you want to swap is when you're in a situation where you either have misfortune because you're so quick, or when the enemy bases right after your base, because then you have a tempo swing. Here, Jankos needs to go here straight. Needs to threaten dive. Here, Azir don't TP. Just he's covering for Jankos' mistake. Azir just don't need to TP. So so Jankos, enemy, walk into mid, Rift Herald played, 100% is happening. Your bot lane is stuck bottom, they're trading for 2 waves, no problem. You need to deny Ornn TP on bottom wave. So here, if anything, I just thought the only moment you could actually TP is now, if you wanted to TP. Like, you needed to TP now. If anything. If you wanted to TP, this was the time to TP. But there is a world... There is a world where Ornn TPs and Zach matches TP and he dies right away. Could happen. But just Jankos is shown here on the pink. And then Perks hover into bot, Jankos show, Azir don't commit all the way, and then it would have been a trade-off, which I think you can be happy with. Because here, 2 waves have been lost, and then first turret for 2 wave, it would be equal somehow, but the gold is better concentrated in Kog'Maw's hands. So here Kog'Maw got more CS into his pocket, and topside they shared the platings, you know? Now Kassadin wants to play side, they put Tahm on mid, is the best course of action. Because Kassadin can match up well against Zac, and can do fine. Hylissang, mistake. Very bad that this happens right before the Dredsky. Kassadin Prio from top goes into mid, self-made wastes R. So this Drake is giga lost. This is a very, very losing situation for G2. I mean for Fnatic. Let's take a step back. Zac Prio pushing, Kassadin catching. Zac no TP, so he's using the fact that he has Prio to gain pressure before the dragon. Good play from Zac. Zac no TP, very good play. Yeah? Very, very good play. When you don't have TP and you have Prio right before the objective, it's not about you being on time for the objective, it's about creating the pressure so your team can get the objective. So the timing of Wunder is very good because Drake spawn, let's just pull this up. Sorry, no. There we go, objective timers. Drake spawn 15, okay? So yeah, Zac is in the mid lane, he's on the mid wave together with Azir, takes a space. Tahm Kench got really, really chunked. Like here, Hylissang was doing, this was very uncharacteristic. Could you go over the win condition from Fnatic again? Do you think they only have the ability to win the late game? They don't win late game. Like they win super, super late game, but the games don't go to super, super late game. Late game is 20 minutes. Late game is 23 minutes when teams can do Nash. The moment a team can do Nash, that's late game, in my eyes. For G2, that's quite early. G2's composition is online, 1 item, 2 item. Late game, like, when do you see games going past 3 items? Usually when we see games go past 3 items, it's like, you know, it's some cocktail. It's some deep cocktail. It's like Kassadin with 6 items and death cap upgraded from Ornn can be very nasty, you know, but yeah, there is output potential with Kog'Maw Lulu. Anyway, Hylibaba, what is Hylibaba doing? Hylibaba very disrespectful, walking alone. Yep, cocktail. So Hylissang lost the situation, needs to go back, and he survived, but still lost a lot of HP. And then Fnatic fighting 2v2 in mid, Kassadin showing on top, he has TP. So there's a little window where Nemesis says he wants to push, they don't want to force anything on mid lane, but they burned Trundle ultimate, Hylissang got chunked. Very uncharacteristic things from Fnatic. 2 small mistakes that amount to a situation where they have to reconsolidate the pressure. Here, Fnatic's play is to make sure they don't get like Fnatic's being super greedy, like Reckless is walking to hit the turret. Like here, you should be happy that you got to push the wave, but this is too much. This is not so good. And then here, the next issue is when Fnatic is fighting with their comp, it's very, very hard for them to like commit very heavily on one target. They don't have any. They don't have any types of CC. They don't have any. They have Trundle Pillar. They have Trundle Pillar, and Aphelios just lost his weapon for the root. They don't have any tools to choose a target specifically. That's why people are walking away with certain HP points. While G2 have easy ways to turn and focus on one target. Sure, Tahm has EAT, but Tahm has no EAT after this situation. So the moment G2 walk away, it is rough for them. But once again, here, if Reckless doesn't walk up to hit the turret, it's not that big of an issue because G2 is losing top wave. Because look at this. Let's take Acid and say, guys, let's just fucking let me do this. Let me push in this wave and no problem. Reckless just walks up way too far to the turret, gets caught. Need to actually get a fight going. Kassadin TPs, Ornn is cut off. And it's Giga GG. Giga GG. Yeah. I don't know. I think this game Fnatic played a lot worse than the previous game. Like this game was like looking at some of the moves, it's hard to find things that are good about Fnatic this game. What the fuck? It's very difficult. Okay, here Wipo managed to cancel base, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is nice from Wipo. Wipo canceling them gets them Infernal. So that's nice. But Azir get 3 plate and a whole turret. It's okay, they trade to bottom. One 3-1, play away from TP. Zac is TP. Azir not TP. Zac TP is away because he spotted the gank. Cook base. Drake spawn 1 minute. Base timing is good. No Ginzu. No finish item on Kassadin. Like Ornn is unbelievably awkward this game. Ornn is unbelievably awkward this game because the best item you can buy is Adaptive Helmet. Like here you're playing Ornn, but you have to buy Adaptive Helmet. Like Adaptive Helmet is too good against Azir Kog. The Adaptive Helmet has no upgrade. It's BG. Trundle the same, needs to... Kog'Maw Lulu is weak against poke. That's what they're weak against. They're weak against split push, they're weak against poke. Kog'Maw is very strong in 5v5 all-in situations. Very hard to play assassins against them. Lulu inherently is good against assassins. But it just happens to be that assassins are good on split. That's the whole point. Assassins wants to skirmish. Most assassins don't want to team fight. Most assassins want to skirmish. Best support pick with Aphelios is Thresh, but Thresh was banned. First gets caught a little bit, but no problem. Do you think the Kog Lulu was counted to Aphelios? No, it's counted to Tahm. And counter to Fnatic. On TP in the pit. And Ornult is used for nothing. And also, like Ornult and Trundle ult was completely denied by how G2 played here. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this again. Azir has no TP, Kassadin has TP. That's why Perks gives this kind of up. He kind of leaves. I think Kassadin probably could have stayed. Kassadin is low mana. Kassadin is 500 mana. That's Guys, we're seeing Senna support every game. It's perma-banned every game. What are you smoking? Senna is perma-banned. Perma-banned Senna. In almost every region, Senna support is perma-banned. Kassadin is walking down here with no mana. He needs to reset. Here, Fnatic have a better position, but G2 know that they don't want to fight here, so they're backing out. Caps is repositioning, they come from the same angle. But already now, Fnatic have no chance because Kassadin no mana, or no ultimate, Trundle no ult. So, these are mistakes that Fnatic usually don't do. They look very, very odd while they are in this game. Like in this game, I would consider maybe there is a sense of mental block. Because I felt like Fnatic played a lot worse than usual. A lot worse than usual this game. G2 plays so beautifully and so patiently around the fights. Zac is engaging. There we go. Caps is turbo. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There's no entry at all for Aphelios and Kassadin against Lulu, Kog'Maw, and Azir. They get the Drake, Ginzu base for Kog'Maw. Look, he's fishing. He killed the Raptor for the Ginzu base. Ginzu base. And we talk about late game, but now is late game. Now is late game. Now is late game. Now is late game already, guys. Azir items and Kog'Maw items is late game. In the context of competitive, this is late game. When teams are strong enough to do Nashor, that's why Kassadin is pretty awkward in a lot of cases in competitive. Because in some games, these items are quite impressive for Kassadin. But in this case, no. He has 2 items versus 2 items. Not so good. Why do players get Ludin's second? Who? Thank you very much, TV Gleb Frost. Welcome to the sub squad. Make some motherfucking noise. Let's see what went into the decision here for G2. No vision. Turret mid for Azir. And they just one-shot it. I don't think we should put blame on Mithi. Like, these drafts are team decisions. Look at everyone getting a Spectre Skull. I love it. Everyone just bought some magic resistance on G2 to finish the game. This is a very Gambit-esque move. When everyone on Gambit always bought GAs. The Spectre Skull final push move. Look at this machine gun Kelly, man. Oh, this Kog is so strong. Horn old bug on bottom. Okay. I've seen this bug a lot. Oh well. That's second game for you guys. Thank you so much for watching.